OMG, hi CD scholars, and if you're new, welcome to the community. My name is Dezor, and today I'm going to be taking you through an Ireland study abroad trip vlog. Through this trip, I learned a lot, and I also ate a lot. I also explored a lot, and I'm going to share all of that with you guys. Alright, so nonetheless, let's get into it. Alright, so at this point in the vlog, I just flew from Savannah to New York, right? And I have about 2 hours until my next flight. Some things happened, gonna get into that later, but that's where we are right now in the vlog. So my flight got delayed 2 hours, and I just walked the whole airport because I was being picky with food. And either like things were closed or lines were too long, so I finally went into like one of the convenience stores, like where they just sell like chips and candy and things like that, and like swag items. I got this sandwich. Okay. And I got barbecue chips. I got about an hour or about 30 minutes until I board again, and then I have about a 10-hour flight. But I'm excited. I'm not showing it, but I'm excited. Okay, remember how I said that I had 2 hours left until I took off for my flight? Well, that 2 hours turned into a cancellation. So I was stuck in the airport for overnight. Okay, so I tried to fall asleep inside of the airport, and it was so hard because I was next to that straight escalator thing that makes you go faster on the floor. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was sitting next to that, and that was everywhere in the airport. Everywhere I sat, that's all I heard. It was so loud because nobody else was in the airport. It was quiet everywhere else, so all I can hear was that sound. I could not sleep. I was like, what in the world am I gonna do? I closed my eyes, but then I heard a voice. A lady that worked for the airport came up to me and the people that were around me and said, hey, we ended up being able to find hotel stays. Are you guys able to do it? And at first I was like, I don't feel comfortable because I'm a solo traveler at this point. And I'm like, I don't know if I trust this. What am I supposed to do? But then another guy that was also traveling with me to go study abroad, he was like, sure. So I felt so safer that way, knowing that another person that I knew was going. So nonetheless, I ended up going to a hotel and it was a great stay. So yeah, here's a little bit of that. I have to go really fast, but flight got canceled. But luckily Delta gave free hotel voucher for one night. So I stayed in this awesome hotel for one night. I was a little bit scared when I got here because there was a crazy man in the lobby. I'm okay right now. I'm gonna head to the airport because we do have to check out in about 30 minutes, but just gonna check out a little bit early. And I'm chilling at the airport for about 4 or 5 hours. My flight is not until like about 5. I'm going to Boston, and then Boston, I think it's only an hour layover. then I'm going to Ireland, hopefully. There's been a lot of cancellations because it's Memorial Day weekend. Hoping there's not another cancellation, but we will see. Excuse me. I got pizza. Okay, awesome. So at this point, I landed safely in Ireland after a long 1 or 2 days of traveling. I am showing you the place that I was staying in. Wow, it was called Talbot Suites, and it was such a great place to stay in. It was an apartment style, and everything was just fairly new. It was a great place to stay in Wexford, Ireland. Showing you how they took us around town on our first day, get us a little bit familiar, and then it's gonna hop right into, you know, all the fun activities that I was doing. So I hope you enjoy. Hip you to it. It's full. I can't be yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know if you know Marianne Mulligan. She's okay, but I don't think so. She's something we always. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? Okay.
Delivered by Creative Ireland and Wexford County Council. Events can be booked through renew.creativeireland.gov.ie.
The Dunstores Baby event is on now. And
ready?
Oh.
taking it like this, I like this.
You got one more.
I like this way.
Okay.
That's what we do on the hurl.
Okay.
Oh!
My turn.
See?
Alright, watch out.
Oh, yep, watch out.
Ready?
Oh! 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 So my first couple of days in Ireland were top tier, my favorite, I shall say, in the educational aspect. I was able to visit schools with my co-students that also go to my university, and we were able to teach Ireland elementary students how to play American baseball. And if you can hear one of the little kids say, like, that's what we do on the hurl, that is just meaning, if you're not familiar with Ireland sports, I guess they have a stick and they call it a hurl, and it's played during the game of hurling. So they have very similar games to American baseball called rounders that elementary school children play. But what we were trying to describe to them before teaching them how to play was how to hold a baseball bat. So we say, like, your dominant hand on top and your weak hand on the bottom. what we call the top, they say the opposite, if that makes sense. So the bottom of what we call the bat, that's what they call the top of the hurl because they're holding it downward. That might make a little bit more sense to referring to why the kid wanted to hold it the opposite way, even though his right hand was dominant and should have been up here. He held it down here because that's how he holds the hurl. That's a little bit of background and I found very interesting. So we spent 2 days at the elementary school teaching the kids how to play American baseball, and it was so much fun teaching them, and they really loved it. So after each day, we had a questionnaire from the kids, anything they wanted to ask us. Some of the questions they asked us was, have we ever been to Chick-fil-A? Have we ever been to Wendy's? One kid asked, have we ever been to Hooters? And in my head, I'm like, what do you know about Hooters? They also asked us, have we ever rode the yellow school bus? Like, is that a thing? Or do we have lockers? And I just found that so funny. But in that walking scene, that can kind of give you an idea of how some of the kids get to school. I don't think they have buses or anything like that. I remember asking a kid what's the like common way to get to school, and they say that they either walk or maybe their parents drive them, but they don't really have like a public transportation system for students like we do in America, to my understanding. That may be just in the place that I went to, but that is what the student explained to me. So showing you that scenery of where they walk from, that can kind of give you an idea.
We would have children who, for whatever reason, it can be through anxiety, it can be through bereavement, it can be through separation within family, that their whole social emotional space isn't maybe where it might be for the typical child.
So at this point, we're done teaching the kids baseball, and we had the lovely opportunity to tour the school. And something so special that I learned while being in Ireland is that they actually have something called like Active Week or Physical Education Week or something like that. But majority of the things that they do for this whole week is all centered around activity and being active. And I am a stickler for that. It was so great to learn about all the wellness things that they do for the children, not only during this week, but during the whole school year. I believe that they said they need at least 400 hours of wellness. Like what? What are we missing? What are we missing here? Like, it was so incredible to learn about. And what this principal right here is talking about is how they have this special room. I believe they call it a nurture room, of where if a kid is not feeling as well coming into the classroom, you can send them to this room where there will be supervision. And it's supposed to be set up like a household. In this room that I am showing you, they have like tons of books, tons of activities that the students can do. But there's actually a separate room that connects to it. And it has a couch. It has a radio going. It has tea. Like, it has all of these things to make it feel really homey, really comforting, to calm the child down, do whatever needs to be done for that child to feel safe. And then when they are ready to go, the supervision person walks them back to the classroom, and they start their day off right, instead of just sitting in the classroom, acting like everything's okay or having a fit. They're able to have this space where they can calm down and become a better student, be more mentally, emotionally aware of themselves, and knowing how to handle their emotions. How great is that? Let's snap. because we need that. And that was just very empowering to know that this is being done in a school, in an elementary school. This is needed, and this is great. So yeah, just wanted to share that.
In here, the children will come. Jared and Lisa will timetable them. Sometimes they'll come in one-to-one, sometimes they'll come in a small group, and we basically assess them using a nurture program, and then we put all the interventions in place to support them. It is one of the best things we have ever done as a school.
Yes.
So this is the other side. Hi Jack, how are you doing? We've invaded your space, is that okay?
I'm gonna have to come back. I just started recording.
Where they got it.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to
I
come
remember
back.
the same symbol.
You want to be in the video?
Probably like start digging in.
Say hi.
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 What are those?
Wow. Look at that mural. That's so realistic.
And it is full today.
They have shopping carts. And they have these escalators, but it's straight, so you can bring the shopping cart on it. This is Dune Stores, pretty much it's like a convenience store.
A rather large group, so we're going to break the group up into two smaller. We can do it, yeah. So I'm just going to make a rough divide, somewhere around here. Years to become a blower, and then another 3 to become a master blower. Here it takes 5 years, and then another 3 to become a master blower. The main furnace is behind the heat shield, just directly in front. So that's where the molten crystal is stored. The heat of the furnace is 1400 degrees Celsius, 13 times hotter than boiling water, and it runs 24/7. On the left is where they make the stemware, you know, like the wine glasses, and for the smaller pieces they go directly to the furnace to collect it on the end of the iron. Now here on the right hand side is where the larger pieces are made. For the larger pieces they're in billets in the background. You see the silver containers? You can see them behind the craftsman. They're at floor level. Those are exact measurements of crystal. The crystal comes from the furnace into the billets. They collect it as a solid block from the billet. They place it in the portable furnace, which is over here on the right. They carve the shape in the wood, they have it and hinge it, and this is for the people in the glowing department. Now there's 2 types of wood used here, beech wood, which is sourced locally, and they also use pear wood. This is the pear wood here, and this is imported from Germany. This is used to make the stemware. You can see the shape of it there. You see this, the shape of the stem and the foot. This is the flat cut here on top, and this is the wedge cut here on the bottom. Now the flat cut needs to be placed twice on the piece. The first time it's done roughly, the second time smoothing it out. The machines used for the flat cut are the 2 here on my left. And then with the wedge cut, they have to cut 2/3 into the crystal. If they go in any further, it could break, and if they don't go in far enough, they don't get the right pattern. So it's very precise. Every cut has to have the exact same amount of pressure applied to it. Now for a piece like this, they're looking through 2 pieces of crystal because they're placing the cut on the opposite side. The water on the piece is to keep the piece lubricated and cool. It can get quite hot from the use on the machines, and also to keep down any dust. Again, these are diamond tipped wheels, so they're safe to use. They do not crush human flesh. And these are all the wheels that they use over here on my right hand side.
Whoa. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
That was mine. Oh, it's got strings. Yeah, strings, yeah. Thank you.
Can you see me?
Yes. Do you want to take a picture?
No, I'm just taking a video.
Taking a video?
Yeah, say hi.
Yeah,
Go for it.
Brilliant.
It's so loud.
Here are you to you? Children under 15, they were regarded as half adults. The price on the ticket was half. They got half the space. So they got the 6 feet back, but they only got 9 inches wide. Babies were free on the ticket, so they were in there, but they weren't given any space. So you can see this one here. In fact, you're going to meet the occupant of this bunk very shortly, Mrs. Ann White. But she was in there with her husband and 5 children. The oldest was 14, and the youngest was a baby. So if Mrs. White had had 2 more babies, they would have been in there as well. Now you see the top one has 4 names, so that's 4 adults. But they're all different names, so they mightn't have even known each other at the beginning of the journey anyway. You know each other fairly well by the end of it.
Where are we going, Mammy? What could I tell them? America. Where is America? I never left the estate only to go to Auckland for the fair every year. This is where we must stay. All of us. We had no room in the hovel.
The children are totally excited about the whole thing. And I must say, I'll be happy to work with my brother. It'll be nice to have paying customers again. Have you been around the ship?
Yes.
You've seen the disappointment of it then.
No.
I'm not at all pleased with conditions on board. £25 my husband and I paid for a cabin for ourselves and the 2 children. It's very cramped. I barely have enough room for my luggage. I came down here to steerage to see if we would have been better off paying the £5 for this. Well, I've seen the conditions down here. I'm delighted Aunt Sister's on a cabin. How you live down here? Well, I honestly don't know. After the last storm, I was up on deck getting some fresh air when the hatches were opened to allow you out for a clean-up operation of your quarters. I was appalled at how sickly and thin you were. Some of you were so bad you actually frightened my children. So I sent to the captain, and I suggested that maybe in future you only come up at night just not to alarm the other passengers. While I was speaking with the captain, I mentioned my concern of hygiene and the possible spread of disease. But you can't be too careful these days, can you?
That's pretty cool. I know. Whoa. There's a little dog. you just saw is the 100th year of Garda, which is the police force, I believe, that is in Ireland. I don't know if it was just specific to Wexford or if it was for the march of like Garda in Ireland. But either way, that was super cool to just walk up upon, because I had no idea that that's what it was about. But nonetheless, after this, I am going to go explore Dublin, Ireland, which is the capital, and have a good time.
But they aren't designated desks, so it's kind of first come, first served.
I feel like I'm in a movie. This is amazing. My goodness.
This feels European.
They're a big fan of big courtyards like this.
Yeah.
This is. They've like getting her mom and her uncle out. Brothers. Is this garden enough for you? Again, it's open to the public, open admission.
Look how gorgeous this is. The oldest cathedral in Ireland. Take a moment to look at the beauty and the 3D attributes of this building. How amazing. It keeps going. Wow. The flowers are singing. What?
Send your location to your loved ones. Be careful of the fourth step. It's big.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay.
Fourth.
I don't wear a watch, so one of you keep an eye on the time. And if you have to leave, just bunk off. I won't be offended. I know you're going drinking whiskey.
Oh man. I'm not showing.
But the crypt is original. 900 years old. Wow. And the mummies.
Genetically modified corn. Jameson is one of a few whiskies worldwide that uses two types of barley. The first type we use to make our Jameson with, we just call, well, unmalted barley. And unmalted barley is ordinary barley from the fields.
The cliffs have been one of the, or they certainly are, one of the oldest kind of recognised tourist sites in the country. First kind of mention in a tourist guide is from a British one in the late 1700s, in 1783, I think. Just mentioning its kind of natural, spectacular beauty.
I have to tell you that the cliffs of Moher were so beautiful and breathtaking. Like, wow. I did a little bit of Tai Chi up there, but I'm telling you, the place that I did it was super windy. The cliffs of Moher actually was in a scene of Harry Potter. In no way comparison, me taking a video or pictures at the cliffs of Moher compared to the actual view that I was looking at. It was absolutely incredible. Next, we are going to Galway. Oh my gosh. Galway, I have to say, was my favorite city. It was welcoming, but it was also city-like because I am kind of from a city area. But it was also, you know, very chill and relaxing, and it was just good vibes there. So I want to show you that experience a little bit. Oh, that's very pretty. Okay, it's gonna come up one more time. Okay, we'll try it again.
Love with an Englishman. Twisted around the neck and then but I haven't a baby and just one thing.
Here we go. So the last video that you saw is at a pub that I ended the night with in Galway with a couple other girls who were also on the trip, and it was so much fun. I don't know why, but like that music just made me want to dance that night. And not many other people were dancing, but there was just one song that they were playing, and I just got up and just started doing some footwork, dancing, and everybody was cheering me on. And then I grabbed like this Irish girl's hand, and then we just started dancing together, and it was just such a vibe. It was so much fun, and it was just a night filled of laughing and, you know, walking back to our hotel and everything like that. It was just so much fun, and I think that's why I really liked Galway, because it was chill, it was relaxing, but you can make your own memories from it, and it was just very like lighthearted and peaceful. So I really like that. Next, I decided to go back to Dublin the next day and do a solo trip, and here's how that went. Okay, so after walking around for like an hour, I still can't find the place that I'm supposed to go to, but I still have another hour to find it. I found a small shop. They sell toasties, never heard, and I'm gonna eat one, but I'm gonna change. So, all done.
Little cards did you ever see? Tim Mahoney, why'd you die? Will you hold?
Our sunsets where we live are pretty, but it's not.
So yes, that was the end of the Ireland vlog, and I loved it. Traveling, studying abroad to Ireland was literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was my first time studying abroad. It was my first time flying solo internationally. Educational aspects of being in Ireland, I loved going to the schools, seeing how they operate, learning about them. We actually had a presentation to teach us about how Irish schools operate, and to be able to compare and contrast that to United States schools. Also to actually be in the school and interact with the children and to teach them something active related, like what? That is definitely down my alley. The class that I was taking while I was there was called Cultural and Diversity in Education, something like that. Basically learning how to educate diverse learners, whether if they speak a different language or if they're from a different culture, learning how to include them, be culturally responsive, be culturally supporting, you know, and including that within lesson plans, and actually being able to be in a different country with Irish students. You can't get that kind of experience anywhere else. So yes, but aside from the educational piece, actually exploring Ireland was great. I got to see some amazing sights that I would never forget. You know, with my memory, I have really bad memory, so I might actually forget, but hopefully I keep these pictures and videos for a long time. It was absolutely beautiful. Some parts were breathtaking, some parts were fun. It was just an amazing experience, and if you have the chance, it can be expensive to study abroad, don't get me wrong. If you have the chance, I want to say thank you to my family, first of all. Thank you to my family, because without them, I would not be doing this. If you have the chance to study abroad, please, please, please don't take it for granted. You know, do it at least once if you have the chance. It's literally a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, especially if you're in college. That is a prime time, you know. When you graduate college, things are going to take you by storm. You're going to start your career. You might start a family. Do it now. This is your sign to do it if you were thinking about it. But I just want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy the educational pieces in it. Seeing what I explored in Ireland. It was so fun. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, like for learning, comment to be active, and subscribe to be a scholar. See you on Tuesdays. Peace and love.